I invite our Senior Vice President of TMA, beloved Dr. V.M. Xavier, for the official welcome address as well as the introduction of the chief guests.
Chief guest of the day, Engineer M.R. Gopalakrishnan, past president of TMA and Managing Director of Kadappuram Beach Resort. President of TMA, CA Sony CL, Student Chapter Convener, CA Shaji PJ, Treasurer CA Manoj Kumar, Secretary Sri Sijo Ponor, Vice President Vinod Mandila, Joint Secretary Mr. Padamurki, past President of TMA, CA T.S. Anandaraman, and other past presidents, Management Committee members of TMA, members of TMA, students, and respected teachers. Indeed, I am very happy to welcome all the participants and the distinguished guests to this meeting. Today, the world is in total crisis. More than 5 lakhs, nearly 5.75 lakhs people lost their lives. Many of the people lost their employment. Many of the people lost their business. So people are really panicked. They don't know what to do. So today we are having a very wonderful topic that is on tourism. That is one of the worst affected business in the COVID-19 pandemic season. We have great people in our TMA itself to discuss various such topics. Last few days we were having classes from people like CATS Anandaraman. Today our engineer Gopalakrishnan is giving a class on tourism and the way forward after COVID-19. Dear participants, I have great pleasure to tell you all these are happening because of our vibrant president, CA Sony CL. So I take this opportunity to welcome CA Sony CL to this meeting. And today's guest, as you know, he was the past president of TMA, one of the very vibrant presidents of TMA. By profession, he was an engineer. He took his BTech from Government Engineering College, Thrissur, passed the BTech in first class, and he was in Merchant Navy. He was in a shipping company based at UK, and he was the marine engineer, and he was there for nearly 20 years. And he was the chief engineer of that shipping company. After 20 years, he took the BRS, came to Kerala, and he started the business in tourism industry. And in the tourism industry, he has got nearly 20 years of experience. So total 40 years of experience. 20 years, he is the managing director of Kadappuram Beach Resort, one of the unique tourism project. There normally people from Germany get admission. People like us won't get any permission to stay there, except people like CATS and Pyramid. So such a beautiful property you find in this Natiga, and he was the managing director of that project. And he was the president of TMA for a period of 2 years. Peter Drucker once said, it is not matter whether you can speak well or whether people like you very much. But if you have the capacity to work, that is more admirable. When Engineer M.R. Gopalakrishnan became the president of TMA, people thought that he is not a thought-pulling orator. So what will be the fate of TMA at that point of time? But my friends, it was during that his period, TMA could buy a building, a standalone building for TMA house. So that is his credit only. Of course, C.A.T.S. Anantharaman sir was there. So he was connecting all the people in order to attain that goal. So all the time when we think about the management house, we have to think about Engineer M.R. Gopalakrishnan. And he was also the former president of Malabar Tourism Organization. And he was also the president of Architects and Engineers Association, Thrissur. And he was also the vice president of Kerala Travel Mart Society, and also presently the governing body member of District Tourism. Such a great man has got a very in-depth knowledge about the tourism business. So, on behalf of TMA, I actually warm welcome to Engineer M.R. Gopalakrishnan.
Thank you, sir.
Our CA, Shaji PAJ, he is another important person in this meeting because he is the student chapter convener, and he is very particular that at least there should be one meeting in every week for the benefit of the students. And now it is the order of the day to attend the meeting in Zoom or virtual manner. So that is very easy for the people. They need not travel, they need not come in time, they can easily sit in their house and they can attend it. And it is because of Shaji's effort we could arrange this kind of meeting, and every week you can expect this kind of meeting as long as Shaji is the convener of this student chapter. So I take this opportunity to welcome Sri CA Shaji PJ to this meeting. Our treasurer, Mr. Manoj Kumar, is here. I welcome him. And I welcome all the office bearers of TMA. And I also welcome C.A.T.S. Anantharaman sir to this meeting, and past presidents of TMA, and also the managing committee members. Of course, I could see the face of Mr. K.P. Balakrishnan, IFS, was one of the senior most person who is attending this meeting, very resourceful person. He was a faculty also in the university. Such great people could attend this kind of meeting only because of the Zoom meeting. So there's an opportunity to all the people, especially the old people. And my dear friends, I take this opportunity to welcome all the past presidents, all the management committee members, and all the students. And I wish you a fruitful session ahead. Thank you. Thank you very much.
A word of welcome to you, sir. Thank you, Sever sir, for nice introduction and the welcome. Now, without wasting much of our time, we can hand over the mic to Engineer M.R. Gopalakrishnan for his speech. Engineer Gopalakrishnan, sir.
Thank you, Shaji. Thank you, sir. Dear President C.S. Soni, so respected President, Secretary Sijo, Treasurer Manoj, I can see Anantharaman sir, Balakrishnan sir, and other managing committee members. And good afternoon to all of you. Hi, students. Hope everything is fine with you. Okay, let us start to the topic. Actually, I was not really comfortable with this mode of virtual meeting, because face to face, we can see the expressions and the body language is something different. But at this moment, we have no other option but to keep this means for the time being at least. Today, we are going to discuss about the subject tourism way forward after the pandemic. I am not a qualified tourism professional to speak about the subject, but I have some experience during the last 20 years. So I was observing all the pulse of the tourism during my tourism professional period. I was working about 20 years as an engineer. Basically, I am a technocrat. During that days, I had the opportunity to visit different part of the world. Now we have a lot of free time. So I just counted the place I visited. Alarmingly, it was about 70 countries in the world. As per United Nations register, there are 195 countries. Out of 195, I could able to land 70 countries. It's something great, I feel. Very rare people get that opportunity, but I am one of that. So during that period, I have some findings. I observed a lot of things. I stayed in different hotels. These were my first classroom about the tourism. My shifting or migrating my engineering to tourism, this experience helped me quite a lot. Out of 195 countries, 70 countries, but some of the countries now split into 5, 2 like that. Because example, Yugoslavia, one of the place I was landed. Now it is, I think, 5 countries, I think. I don't know, Balakshmi sir can help me later. This is a different topic. We'll come to the topic. Tourism, way forward after the pandemic. I was the person who selected this topic, in fact. Then after reading the topic, I had some doubts or some questions myself in that. You see, tourism way forward after the pandemic. I have question number 1. After the pandemic, this after, when that after is going to start? It's a big question in front of us now. I can't say. I think you also can't say that. Can you anybody say that August 15th onwards everything is going to be all right? No. It is not that possible. Now it's a very critical time for all of us. It is started somewhere in China, Wuhan. That was in December 2019, last year. Now it is almost 6 months completed. Still it is going very fast, moving very fast, and very critical stage, and its full world is under the grip of this COVID-19. You see, now the world is something different. The connectivity between the world is developed quite a lot. Suppose you start a trip from China today morning, you can reach Europe in the afternoon, States in the evening leg. So the connectivity is so fast. We all say the world is one. But the problem is, when the epidemic started, this connectivity made to travel the virus also so fast. It started from China, now then reached to Iran, then Italy, Spain, all Europe, reached to States, South America, all the world. Now, States is the number 1 in the affected count. Then come Brazil, India got the 3rd place. So the experts say, unless we come out with a vaccine, this is not going to contain. A lot of research is going on. I think it's about 220 labs are moving ahead with this vaccine research. And India is also the front runner of that group. In between, 2 days back, I read that Russia have come out with an effective vaccine. Oh, good. But even the vaccine come out, to complete the human trial, the 4 stages of trial, it will take still 6 to 9 months. So general opinion is that unless this vaccine or some medicine is effectively come in the market, this is going to remain as it is with ups and downs. So we can think about another 6 to 9 months, because tourism is the most affected industry because of COVID. Not only COVID, in any calamities, whether it may be or maybe a other epidemic or some tsunami or some earthquake, whatever it may be, it is going to first affect the tourism. You remember even when the volcano eruption, there are a lot of debris in the atmosphere, or the flight stops, it is affected tourism also. Tourism actually, the season of tourism in India is start from October to, that's a peak season, October to March. Incidentally, the previous time what happened is, most of these calamities happened during the off-season time. Before the season starts, we would able to manage all these hassles, and we can bring back and tell the world that we are back again in activities. So that way we manage quite a lot. But in the case of COVID, 6 months already passed. Now another 6 months, no hope. The next year, when it is going to start, no idea about it. So it is an uncertain question is always hanging in front of us. So that is the present situation, and the answer to when, it is very indefinite. So my second question comes. Way forward after the pandemic. So you come with the pandemic. The pandemic can be anything, not only COVID alone, it can be any other epidemic. In the world history, even start from cholera, smallpox, TB, Nipah, plague, lot of epidemics started, and it has taken lot of life also early days. But not like corona. That all not affected so much because it was not prolonged at this rate. Now it's 1 year, the industry is almost closed down. The tourism people are in very danger. Some of the staff is starving. We have formed small arrangements to help them also, but it is not fully functional because the management itself is in a very bad state. So this is the situation in the pandemic. Then third question comes, tourism way forward. So there is one, it's not backward, it is forward. It means whatever the consequence, we have still hope for that. The history shows that tourism only moved forward, not backward. So there is no worry about that. Be positive. Today or tomorrow, it will come to a stage, everything will be all right, and we are back in operation. Now, it is your turn. You may have some questions also. So why so particular about tourism? Is it there is that much scope? That is a question normally comes out. You see, Bale population is about 7.7 billion. This is as per the estimation of United Nations latest 2019 September. And 35% of this population constituted by India and China. In China have 1.38 billion and we have 1.31. Only thing difference is we have a younger population. About 70% of our population is below 30 years. That is advantage we have. The same way, there is another saturation point is also for the population. The earth can only afford the maximum population is 10 million. If anything more than that, we cannot provide food for the people. It's going, now also there is a lot of famine all over the world. But if the population is go beyond this, it is going to be a havoc anyway. In the year 1950, it means 70 years back, worldwide arrivals were only 25 million. That means 25 million people crossed the boundaries of their nation and traveled. This was in 1950, 70 years back. Now in 2018, after 68 years, that 25 million figure raised to 1.4 billion. 140 കോടി 68 കൊല്ലം കൊണ്ട് 137 കോടിയുടെ വ്യത്യാസം വന്നിരിക്കുന്നു. This is 18.1% of the world population. That means out of 7.7 billion people, only 18.1% world population is traveling. Very out of this 18.1% travel all over the world. Only 10 million reached to India. ഇന്ത്യയിലെ വരുന്നത് വെറും 1 കോടിയാണ്. It is less than 1% of the global arrivals. So see the difference. World population is 7.7 billion. അതിലും 18.1% only travels around the world. 18.1% mere 10 million only reached to India, and out of that 10 million, only 1 million come to Kerala. This is the statistics. Other interesting point. ഈ വരുന്നവരില് 10 ലക്ഷത്തില് തൃശ്ശൂർ വഴി കടന്നു പോകുന്നത് വെറും 10,000 പേരാണ്. സോ ഞാനിത് പറയാൻ സൂചിപ്പിക്കാൻ കാരണം the potential is so high in tourism. If a small marginal increase the world tourist arrivals out of 18.1, a small increase, proportional increase to India and subsequent increase to Kerala can make wonders. Even a small 1% increase is double the count as it today. So that much important scope we have in tourism. So again, there is a question, why tourism? There is other industries also. Then why tourism alone is all effect? Tourism is one of the world's largest economic sector. There is a largest is housing, second largest is oil and gas, third is automobile. But tourism gas have another side, because this industry contribute to other sectors also. Example, one tourist go to a hotel. This hotel and beverages industry is also benefited out of that. And he hire a car to travel. The oil and gas industry is benefited. He go to a textile shop. The textile industry is benefited. Go to a museum or art gallery. The art and cultural industry is benefited. So this is the sector who is contributing maximum to different sectors. It contribute about 8.9 trillion USD to the global economy. 8.9 trillion USD to the global GDP. That is 10.3% of the global GDP. provide 330 million jobs around the world. 1 in 10 jobs is by tourism. 1 in 10 jobs. 4.3% of the world's total investment is by tourism. USD 948 billion capital investment is by tourism. You come to India. What is Indian situation? Let's have a look. The third largest forex earner of the country is by tourism. Tourism is the third largest forex earner. 1 million people are employed by tourism in India, and it contributes 9.2% to the GDP. 8.1% of the total jobs is by tourism. So that is the Indian scenario. You come to Kerala. Kerala is 1980 as a destination. Kerala was ignorant to anybody outside there. It was not in the tourism map at all. Till 1980, it was an unknown destination. But the different governments, LDF or UDF, they had a foresight. They saw that the potential of tourism is very high. They identified that one. Because of that, this tourism industry gained the industrial status in Kerala in 1986. You believe it? India tourism got the industrial status in 1997. That means 11 years after only India tourism got this tourism status. Before that, we gained the tourism status, industry status for the industry. Yeah. In Kerala, our tourism policy is based on responsible tourism. 12% of the Kerala GDP is by tourism. 12,800 families are the direct beneficiaries by responsible tourism initiative. 12,800, not person. 12,800 families are directly benefited by tourism in Kerala, and another 50,000 families by indirect. They are indirect beneficiaries. So see the potential of this industry. So what I said earlier, if a small percentage of increase is going to make a very big end result in this industry, that is stagnant at the moment. So how to revive that one? So before I conclude, we'll come to that point. Any calamities have a lot of effect on the tourism. I mentioned to you earlier. And tourism is the most affected industry for any calamity. During the Kuwait war, we have seen, during the tsunami days, we have seen, during the Nipah, we have seen, during the deluge period, we know that, during the landslide and terrestrial rain, we know that. So this all immediate effect, because nobody want to travel when the situation is bad. Suppose you get a chance to visit China now. Anybody is going to take that offer? No, because what we are going just for relax or something, a better mindset. So when this disturbed atmosphere, tourism is not going to exist. So that forget that chapter unless the things are getting all right. Now in India and particularly in Kerala, almost all the tourist centers are closed and the staff is on leave, no job. Very pathetic situation is going on all over Kerala. Lot of companies in bankrupt. The banks are behind them and they couldn't, not only other industries, but tourism have very direct impact and immediate impact on this. India tourism season starts in October. This October is gone. So we cannot think about this year. So this is the real situation, havoc situation of tourism in India as well as in Kerala. In my opinion, till a vaccine available in the market and things will be same, it is not going to revive another 1 year also. But once it comes, Kerala have a better scope because we have proved some of the cases and handled very effectively. That is going to get a result. Even when the tourist season ends, that time was the COVID outbreak was there. That time, lot of foreign tourists stranded in Kerala, but we have treated them very nicely and sent them back, repatriated back them without any problem. It was highly appreciated. The same way, the way we handled this epidemic is also well appreciated among the world community. So that also plus point for us for the tourism for the coming days. So basically, when the tourism want to develop or want to start again, there are some minimum requirement for the country. Normalcy to be returned back. Otherwise, no. If somebody comes here and go for quarantine or everything is closed, who is going to come here? And even he comes here also, this give a bad message around the world. It is not favor to tourism at this moment. So even be late, we wait for that one, then present in a better way. That is the best option at the moment. There must not be any fear in the minds of the people who comes. The same way, there shouldn't be any fear in the minds of the people, the host as well as. They should be felt very safety, free from all restrictions. Connectivity must be improved. Now there is no direct flight to go abroad. Only that Vande Bharat flights are there, not other flights. Then once the flight has to start back again, it is going to be a long delay. So anyway, this will we have to wait and see. But one thing is there, as the World Health Organization head mentioned, even after the COVID, the world is not going to be the same as before. Even after, because people's mindset is changed, people habits are changed, everything is going to change. So we are not going to have the same world what we had before the COVID. It is going to get changed. The tourism, a tourism product can be defined as some of the physical and psychological satisfaction. Some of the physical and psychological satisfaction it provides to a tourist during the travel. I say again, some of the physical and psychological satisfaction it provides to a tourist during his travel. Anything get disturbed for this definition, we are going to have an adverse effect on the tourism. Unless any of these things is not attained, the tourism not going to grow. For the COVID also, the same thing is applicable. The after effect of the COVID, if it is not corrected in the proper way, the tourism not going to come up. This is the best time to invest in the tourism industry if you have money, if the banks are cooperate with you. It's the right time to promote tourism, the right time to enter into the tourism, because even the students who are now the things, everything is in digital age. With the digital helps, we can promote tourism, we can enter to tourism. This is the right period. I hope that tomorrow is be better and we'll be have a better tourism. The Kerala will be a better tourism state in the coming days. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your excellent presentation. Of course, you have more than 20 years of experience in this field, and you have given a clear picture of the world tourism, Kerala tourism, Indian tourism, everything in a very nutshell. With all the statistics available, it was a good sketch of the global tourism that you have given. It benefited us very much, and very powerful and very new informative class it was. The informations you shared were, many of them were first ones we could get, especially the statistics, like the people who are traveling around the world, people who are coming to Kerala, people are passing through Thrissur, all this, you took time to find out all this and made a good presentation. It was very helpful. Now we have few questions here. Please. Before that, any of the participants can have is a floor open for discussion, and if any of you want to ask any questions, please ask. Participants, please make your questions. You can ask anything related to tourism to our experienced engineer, M.R. Gopalakrishnan. Students also, they can share your queries.
Gopalakrishnan, it was a good presentation. When are we going to see the change, especially in Kerala? Do you think it's going to take 1 year or only about 6 months?
You see, even this industry, the people are so bad position, they want to start tomorrow. That is a position. But who is going to come? That is the first question. And if they come here and have some problem, they will take into the quarantine. You agree with me? So, unless even now it is not, you are not allowed to permit anybody. Even it's permit, you take some people, and if it's get again spread out, then whatever you have, you are lost more than that. That is going to happen. So that is the reason I say, I think we positively hope that another 6 months time, there will be some effective vaccine will be available. Once it started, there is a hope for that. So in my opinion, because my property is closed down on March 20th, and we are not planned to start in this year. So January we'll think about that one. Because normally by this time we used to get almost 80-90% of booking. Now even 1 or 2 booking comes, they themselves cancelled it. So this is the position. Because in my opinion, we can start doing business if something's going better, not before January. That is position. That is also, we may start with the domestic sector first, then finally move to foreign tourist. You think that, are you ready to have a tourist, go to a place outside India during this period? The same thing is applicable to others also. This is a very simple answer for that.
Is it true that Spain is open for tourism?
Not only Spain, there are some countries already. Even Sri Lanka. Why you go to Spain? Sri Lanka is already started. It's so close to us. They are started. But hardly anybody comes there. Even I read that today, there is some promotion of tourism. Suppose you come and stay here. If you get infected, they will treat you. That is the incentive they are providing for tourism. Once you get infected, the host is going to treat you for this one. That much of incentives are they providing. So that is the position that now it's less affected countries like New Zealand, even Japan, Singapore, Korea, and all. They are moving a little bit, but nobody. You see, basically their contribution is from Europe or States or England like that, no. But they are in a very bad position there. Unless it is not get cleared, who is going to come? The connectivity is not there. Even Germany started the connectivity, but not to India anyway. But inside Europe, they started connected with their places. But all this come to normal. Otherwise, the people may get stranded also in between. They came here. All at a sudden, the outbreak was increased. You know, Kerala, what is happening now? If this is going that once suppose they come and they stranded here, this other hustle. So there are a lot of things to look into before we take the guest.
Gopalji, how this industry can survive for another 6 months at least? Now already 6 months over. How they can survive? How the resorts and other things they can pay the salary of the people? And whether any support from the ministry or state or central government or otherwise, I think it is going to be a serious problem to survive for next 6 months. What is your solution for that?
It is still the Darwin theory. Fittest is the survival is the fittest. It is something like that. Those who have sufficient enough in your bank, you may survive. The small players are almost, even Europe, 3 or 4 of our agents, they are bankrupted. They are requested for bankruptcy. And even Kerala, most of the small units are wind up. If they are not wind up, the next day the bank is going to come and attach. Everything is going to. That's what I said. The world is not going to be the same after the COVID. There are a lot of difference. Even for the properties like us, we are closed already. We paid them some few months. How other people are surveying the same way, industry is also surveying. We are not expecting anything from the government because it's not a position and they are not going to give you. There's no doubt about it. Now the thing is that even you close down, you have to maintain. Otherwise the property will get damaged, no? You have to avoid that one. Maintenance to be done. So minimum staff is there. Even ideal cost itself is about 2 to 3 lakhs per month. Where is the reserve for that? So we have to find out some way. There are a lot of staffs are asked to go on leave. We cannot afford it. Where from we give them? So now I tell you, because my resort, all the land started farming. So I think we get more yield from the coconut trees. We have some vegetable cultivation. In fact, I tell you, no purchase of vegetables nowadays last 2-3 months in our resort for the minimum staff stay. So we may have to convert to different activities also. So that we have to find out, and which are the, so fish farming is started. Like that we have to come. Okay, anyway, once it things are clear, this is also a product of tourism.
Gopalji, we have got one question from Radish. Post-COVID, whether if domestic tourism pick up first, where should the industry to focus?
I couldn't get you. Say again, please.
The question is like this. I think it is like this. Post-COVID, whether if the domestic tourism pick up.
Shaji, you are getting broken.
Okay,
Say
sir,
again,
I will
not
ask,
getting clear.
I will ask
Getting
straight away.
broken.
I will ask straight away. Okay, sir, I will ask straight away.
Yeah, yeah, I got the
While I was typing,
possibility of domestic tourism. Okay.
yeah. See,
Okay.
while I was typing the question, you have answered a part of it, like the domestic tourism will be picking up first. In that case, where to focus? Like, for example, the domestic tourists will not be spending that much normally. In that case, the industry has to have some kind of modification in the scenario. So, what shall the industry focus on?
First thing I want to correct you. The domestic tourists are not spending. That is not right. You take any hotel in Kerala and take their revenue side. The revenue from the domestic sector is much higher than the foreign sector. Only thing we are getting is in INR, other is foreign exchange. That is the only difference.
Okay,
Then again, in Kerala tourism, the domestic market is a big factor, more than the foreign factor. It's a big factor. Only thing, some people, property like us not bothering that one because the hassles are very high. So domestic tourism is going to come up. That is the first thing we are going to start. But the problem is that at this moment, domestic tourism, which state you can recommend to Kerala? You think any other state better than Kerala? So all other states are worse hit than us. Maybe exemption, maybe Goa. That's all. Others are very, very bad state than us. So once it's settled, before foreign tourists, the domestic tourism going to promoter.
Thank you very much.
Any more questions? I think no more, all the questions in the chat box have been answered by our learned speaker, and no more questions to be asked. So I think we can wind up the webinar.
Thank you all very much for patiently listening to me. I don't know how much I can deliver to your thinking. Anyway, thank you for meeting at least through the webinar. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Your class was excellent. It benefited all of us. And I invite Sijo Pannur, our Secretary of TMA, for the water tank. Before that, I would like to thank our President, CL Sony. He has arranged all these meetings well in advance, but today, unfortunately, he couldn't attend the seminar. He was behind all this from the scratch by from the start means finding out the faculty, everything. He was there, but today, unfortunately, he could not attend. Thank you, Sony, for your service. And I invite Sijo Pannur for the formal water thanks.
Good evening,
Sijo?
everybody. Yeah, good evening, respected TMA members. It's nice to see you also among the students over here. Even student chapter conveners, Shaji, excellent effort from you also to coordinate this meeting. I would like to thank the president for constantly following up for more webinars, and I have to congratulate the team behind him also for putting an additional effort for the webinar meetings over here. Apart from that, Gopalji, what can I say? Such a detailed information. Now I know that you have traveled in 70 countries. The experience of this itself is so wide. I think this has to be shared with us personally. Excellent presentation, giving a lot of insight what is going to happen, what are the predictions, and how it is going to go forward. Thank you, sir, for giving us such a clean, detailed explanation. I'm sure everybody would have enjoyed it. On behalf of TMA, we like to thank you once again, and thank you for coming in today. Good day. Thank you, everybody.